What's going on, guys? I'm Tommy, and I'm coming at you with an action figure review. Today, I'm going to be reviewing Hasbro The Black Series Dathomir Witch Halloween Edition. Hasbro really stepped up their game this year with creativity and ingenuity when it comes to the holiday-themed figures, whether it be for the Halloween holiday or the Christmas holiday. I've been a big fan of what they've done here, and this witch is one of the most interesting this year, so I'm really excited to get this open and check it out. When I ordered this figure, it was in order through Amazon. At the time, I thought it was an Amazon exclusive here in 2025. However, this seems to have popped up on most, if not all, fan channel online retailers as well. So I've seen it pop up on like Big Bad Toy Store and Hasbro Pulse and other retailers like that. This comes in the standard packaging for the Black Series right now. You have your Black Series logo up at the top, you have a nice big plastic window showing you the figure, and a ton of accessories, as well as a little companion there. Over here you have some vertical text with the name of the figure, and then behind here, usually where this would just be a drab black color, you do have some purple fading into a black, and you have some prints here like Jabba ghosts and spiders and other things of that nature, Minoc bats, very Halloween themed stuff. Down here below the window you have this bright orange banner which will signify the Halloween edition kind of subline as opposed to where the name of the media would be. You have some of your logos and legalese down at the bottom. On this side of the box where we would usually see our mural art, we do have a hologram image from about the waist up of our witch wearing the witch hat, which is packed separately here. You have that banner, and then down here you have a little silhouette of our Bogling, which is the companion for this one, as well as the character's name at the bottom. On this side of the box, on the back here, we have the Black Series logo, that same hologram image we saw on the side of the box, blown up a bit, the name of the character, and a little bio in about 1,000 different languages. This bio reads, "Celebrate the season with specially designed Star Wars figures from the Black Series." Down below that, we're going to have another little orange banner here that keeps wrapping around all your legalese. Guys, please don't feed this action figure to your babies. Just because it's Halloween doesn't mean this figure is going to be candy. On this side of the box, you have a wraparound window, that same print that we did see, and you can see some skulls on this side as well. Again, that wraparound banner and the Black Series logo, and on the bottom of the box, even more legalese. On the top, nothing. That about wraps it up for the packaging. Let's get this figure opened and we'll check her out. Alright, we've got our figure out of the box, and now let's take a look at all these accessories she comes with. I was actually shocked by how many different accessories this witch includes. We will first start off with this soft goods witch hat here. Now, something that I've really liked that they've done about the new wave of the holiday figures this year for both Halloween and Christmas are the inclusions of these new, completely original soft goods pieces. This is a great way to get around needing to tool new plastic items and also making these still a fun novelty for the holiday. I think this is stitched very nicely. I liked how it was packed in to the box as well, and we'll check out how this fits on the figure in just a little bit. You can see it's stitched just right up to the top here. It's got a nice curl at the top, and looks like hopefully we'll be able to fit the figure's head in this hat. As far as accessories for our Dathomir Witch, which is essentially just the Asajj Ventress figure, obviously you're going to get Asajj Ventress's lightsabers. Now, the hilts themselves are done in just black plastic, as not to draw too much attention to themselves. What I found really creative about this is that they went with an orange blade and a purple blade, very stereotypical, very commercial Halloween colors. I like that inclusion. It also matches the sash of the figure itself, which we'll get into in a minute. You can see the pegs that are sculpted into the hilts here, so these can attach to the front of her belt, and I just think these are really fun. You can see also that the blades do both remove from the hilts. Just be gentle and pull those out, and you can separate those from each other. Now, being a witch, this figure also needs to come with a broom, so I like that they've done this kind of almost very furry, reminds me of the Bantha kind of TVC or 3 3/4 release figures, where it's this long, shaggy hair, and it's made to look like a broom. I think this is a really, really creative touch for this figure, and I'm kind of confused as to why there are two of these packed in here. One has the broom end and the other one's just a pike. This accessory is Moff Gideon's electro staff, so I'm a little bit confused as to why there's just the plain one. This might be maybe a stick for her to stir a cauldron of some sort, but it is the same exact accessory, just one has the end of the broom on it and one does not. And of course, with all the holiday figures, you get some sort of companion with each one. So in this case, they decided to go with a Bogling, which first came from Jedi Fallen Order, and this one is just in plain black plastic with some tiny white paint applications for some fangs, and then some yellow paint applications for some nice bright eyes. Obviously, this is meant to be a black cat. I don't think they've ever done this one yet for any of the holiday figures, so it's a very welcome addition, and a very smart, creative one at that, and this is a great, perfect companion to go with a witch. Worth mentioning too, this does not have any articulation whatsoever. It's basically just a small statue, but absolutely nothing wrong with that, as in the games that this creature is from, all they do is bounce around and they're bipedal. Alright, now let's take a closer look at our Dathomir witch, aka, like I mentioned before, this is just Asajj Ventress from her previous Clone Wars release. So, as far as the witch herself goes, I think they've done a very creative job here. Ventress being a Dathomir witch in the Clone Wars show is a very fitting choice and candidate for this kind of thing here. A lot of people are calling this the Elphaba figure. For all my wicked people out there, this is definitely very fitting for that as well. As far as the head tattoos go, they did paint those on in some dark green. I will say that those are pretty nice inclusions there, and they did also give her some sort of blush on her cheeks, which I don't think the original figure has that. They painted the lips, the eyes are painted green. Everything looks really nice. I mean, the paint apps on this look really good. And again, it's nice that they did include some head tattoos that are accurate to Asajj Ventress. As far as the torso goes, you can see that her cutout here on the chest is painted in green, as are the arms here on these upper arm pieces. They went with some white wrappings on the black clothing here, just for, again, more of a stereotypical witch look. That's completely fine by me. You'll see those are painted on the hands here. And then the belt is the same as the original Asajj Ventress figure. It's that rubbery overlay here that is loosely attached. And you can see they've got some nice orange paint applications on that purple color. Again, great choice doing the orange and purple combo. This is the classic kind of commercial, family-friendly Halloween colors that we've all gotten used to as kids. And then you'll see the skirt piece here is in the same material that the hat was in. It's definitely a different material than the original Asajj Ventress figure. I can't really think of what to describe this material as. However, you can definitely tell there is some black dye that's been used on this. You can see some of that dye has bled onto the foot here. And then I guess I'll use this opportunity to talk about the legs. You can kind of see some dye that bled onto the legs themselves here if the light catches it correctly. But it's not a huge deal to me. These are completely concealed anyway, and they are just the white wrappings to kind of match the rest of the figure. Other than that, it's a pretty plain design, but honestly, I don't see anything wrong with it. I think this is a great, very creative way to make a stereotypical Halloween witch in the Black Series. As far as articulation goes on our witch, she is going to have the same articulation scheme as the Asajj Ventress figure counterpart. So you do have a barbell jointed neck. You're going to have a ball joint up at the top and at the base of the neck here. You'll see you can get plenty of range out of that, so she can look down a pretty fair amount. Can she look up? Maybe a little bit there. You can get some good tilt out of that head, as well as your obvious right and left. You do have at the shoulders, there is technically a butterfly joint. It doesn't have the most range because of how well hidden it is underneath the main torso area here, but you can get a little bit of range forward and back. She does also have a hinge and swivel. The hinge is going to get you maybe not quite 90 degrees, but you can get there. And there is also a swivel that goes 360 degrees there. You have some deep cut single jointed elbows. Those are going to get you well past that 90-degree mark, and there is obviously a swivel there as well. The wrists are going to be hinge and swivel, and both of them are going to be the same. You're going to have that swivel with that horizontal wrist hinge. Same goes for the left arm there. There is a ball joint down here at the waist, which is hidden by the soft goods skirt. That's going to have some really nice range. The thing we're looking for with a lightsaber wielder usually is that they're going to be very well articulated, lots of range in there. I will say the skirt piece does look like it can flow out pretty far. So the hip joints, there is a ball joint up in there at the hips. I'm not really having any issue with mobility here. Obviously, when you try to bring the legs out, they do get stuck with the skirt there. However, I assume if you lift it up a little bit, yeah, you can get them much farther. So as long as it's not pulled straight down, the skirt does move itself out of the way very nicely. As I was showing before, there is that ball joint up in there, and there is a cut for a thigh swivel on this figure. So there's that added articulation. There is a deep cut single jointed hinge at the knee. That's going to get you past that 90-degree mark with a swivel at the top of the knee there. And then at the ankles here, we're also going to have that forward-facing pin for rocker, as well as a hinge, which is going to get you really not much forward, which is a little disappointing just because of the way that the lower leg is sculpted, and there is some nice back on that as well. Overall, it's good articulation, and for the time that this figure came out, it was definitely really good articulation. This absolutely holds up to today's standards here in 2025 for Black Series articulation. Just to show you how some of the accessories can interact with this figure, I will show off the lightsabers here. So these can connect to the belt, but as you can see, there are corresponding peg holes for the pegs on the lightsaber hilts, and those can be held on the front of her belt. They do pass the shake test, so if they're on there, you don't have to worry about them falling off. Let's get the witch's hat on. This is probably the part I've been most interested to see. So this just kind of looks like it sits on her head. It doesn't look like it can actually fit over her head there, unless you really pull down on it. All right, I stand corrected. If you kind of take the brim of the hat and pull it down, you are able to get that over her head, and it does actually look pretty nice. Looks pretty silly, but that's kind of the novelty of these figures, isn't it? You can actually see her face underneath the brim of the hat. It does catch some light, and you can obviously fold these soft goods back so you can see more of her face. And I think, honestly, now that I got it onto the figure's head, passes the shake test, and it does a good job. I think it gets the point across. As for the broomstick, she's going to hold that very nicely in either hand, because she does have C-gripping hands, as all she really has is a lightsaber. So you can hold that nicely in one hand there. That's what she looks like. As a kid that grew up watching The Wizard of Oz, one of my little sisters was obsessed with the movie, and we'd have it on repeat all the time. I always think of the Wicked Witch of the West when I see the broomstick and just the green witch skin. So cool, and honestly, in the two-handed position, it fits very nicely in the hands. I'm not going to bother showing you this accessory in the hands because it's the exact same accessory, just one has the soft goods, one does not. Let's get the witch posed up a couple different ways, and then we'll wrap up this quick little review. Here's our witch with both lightsabers in hand. The lightsabers, obviously being made for this particular figure, fit perfectly in the hands. Those both pass the shake test, no problem. Something interesting about the Asajj Ventress figure, and actually since this outfit is specific to the Clone Wars movie, in that movie we do actually see her connect her lightsabers together into a dual-wielded saber, and that's something that you can achieve with these lightsaber accessories here. This is what it looks like when they're together. This is a really fun, unique accessory, and I like that they incorporated it into the Halloween edition of the figure, especially with the blades being two different colors. In two hands, the dual-bladed lightsaber can prove to be a little finicky because the peg that connects the saber hilts isn't the best connection. However, once you get it into a nice pose, it still looks great. And just for a quick comparison, we have on the left side the original Asajj Ventress that this figure took all the sculpting from, and these guys look great side by side. But with that, guys, that's going to wrap it up for my review of this figure. As you can see right now, I've got her posed in a cool one-legged pose. It's giving the illusion like she's sitting on the broomstick and she's in flight. I actually think this turned out really well, and this is probably going to be how she ends up on the shelf. This is a really fun, creative figure. While the hat can be a little finicky, I do think it is a really fun inclusion. Having these soft goods pieces really elevate the creativity of these releases. It gives a lot more ideas to the team to be able to make actual Halloween characters, as opposed to just having to work with existing sculpts. This one's also really nice because I feel like due to the green skin tone, you could pass this as any sort of background alien. The soft goods and the belt piece would be really easy to remove on this one, and it would make for great kit bashing and, like I said, just any kind of background alien or creature you wanted to create. But with that said, guys, I hope you enjoyed this review. If you did and you're not yet subscribed, subscribe to Blitz Transmissions. I've got awesome Star Wars content coming out all the time. If you're an ARC Trooper in my Patreon, you would have seen this review early. If you'd like to access early content, monthly giveaways, and other awesome benefits, the link to my Patreon is in the description below for just $4.99 a month. If you're a fan of the reviews I do here on YouTube, or you just want to support the YouTube channel more directly, you can also check out my YouTube channel membership, Rancor Battalion. For just 99 cents a month, you get access to all my reviews early, as well as exclusive badges and priority replies in my comment section, and like the Patreon members, you do get to vote on what I review next for the channel. If you'd like some Blitz Transmissions swag, you can check out the Blitz Transmissions Armory over on Printify. Link to that is in the description below, as well as links to my Discord and all my social media. Guys, I hope you enjoyed this review. I'll catch you for the next one, and may the Force be with you.
Breaking off all units, fire at will. 1-2, pick a target. Too many, Captain. Watch your stabilizer, Gold 6. Anybody cover me. I got 2 vultures on my tail. You've got to hold them here. Watch your left. I can't shake them. I'm hit. I'm hit. Where's our reinforcements?